about that. You know the clips that are going viral of that whatever podcast? You know, the guys who have like the girls on and they're wearing slutty clothes and like, oh, do you think that marriage is this or that, blah, blah. And I thought the first one or two clips of the whatever podcast that I saw, I was like, oh, this is fun. But then I saw that that's like all they do on their show is they just bring dumb thoughts on there and make them look like retards. And I'm like, this is kind of like the same as if I did a fishing podcast, but all I did was I got a really big barrel.
And I put all the fish in it?
I put all the fish in the barrel. And then I took a 30-06 and I just started shooting the barrel and then bragging to everyone. I'm like, look at what a good fisherman I am. I'm an incredible fisherman. Look at all those fish in that barrel that I got. And that's kind of how I feel. These guys on this whatever podcast too, there are a couple of, and I hate using this term because it's so overused and lame, but they really are. Beta! They're these weak little, as April would say, wiener guys. And like they pump themselves up by making really dipshit women look like dipshits. And it's like, this is the same as if you did a baking show and you brought a professional baker on, and then at the end of the show, the professional baker baked you a really nice loaf of bread, and you were like, ha, see? And you were like, well, yeah, there's no twist here. That's kind of what we thought you would be doing when you booked the bread baker on your show. They bring these dumb fuck women on there, and then they go, watch me own these chicks and really be based as shit. It's like, okay, this is like Mike Tyson in his prime going, you guys want to see how fucking strong I am? Watch me beat up this fucking crippled kid. And he brings a 19-year-old with scoliosis into the ring and just beats the fuck out of him and expects us to cheer.
So in other words, it's like when Crowder does a fighting bit where he's like, I'm going to prove how manly I am. Someone get a 12-year-old girl. I'm going to punch her in the face.
Right. It's a weird thing where like they know that there's a market for this kind of thing, and they're just shamelessly like playing to that market. But it's like at the end, you're like, what are you trying to prove? That you can outsmart like the dumbest fucking women I've ever seen? First of all, they go on your podcast. That's how I know they're stupid. And then you two, I feel like these are guys who have tried to be like alphas in their life, and they've really tried to be like guys. But when they go to people who are actual guys, they're like, would you get the fuck out of here? You're weirding me out. So then they're like, I have an idea. We'll show all of them. We'll do a podcast where we're just super based around giggly girls, and then we'll humiliate them and make them look stupid. It's like, I didn't need you to make these girls look stupid. Like if you have Nikki Haley on your show and you make Nikki Haley look like a stupid piece of shit, then wow, you're a pretty good news guy and interviewer. Like you're pretty solid at that. If you bring some OnlyFans chick on and she stems and stammers over your question of what it means to be like a complete woman and like if marriage is right for them, they confuse themselves when they ask themselves that question. So don't.
Can you believe these dumb whores don't know anything?
That's exactly what it is. The whatever podcast is just, hey, did you know these dumb bitches are dumb bitches? Like, so we're doing this episode again? Yeah, that's Rudolph Hess confession under duress. You're just like Johnny said, Crowder and Shapiro do the same thing. They go to like 19-year-old college kids and they're like, I'm going to debate these college kids. Look at how fucking stupid they are and look at how little they know about the world. And it's like, well, yeah, you guys are like 40-year-old men who study this shit for a living. And these are 19-year-olds who only know 3 adults, their parents and their professor. And you're going to go like, oh, look at this fair fight that I won. It's like, oh, girls are stupid and they smell like cooties. Change my mind. Oh, shit. Crowder's on a warpath, guys. Don't fuck with him. So the New York Post.
I'd comment, but he turned on the light. I'm not supposed to speak.
Fucking, I don't remember turning it off. Fucking watch it. A podcast with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers across all online platforms is stoking the flames of controversy by belittling female guests and making them look dumb. Whatever, hosted by Brian Atlas, is masquerading as a dating talk show while delving into gender roles, body counts, and the legitimacy of the patriarchy. I mean, I don't use this phrase often, But it really is just a kind of a pussy ass wiener guy slut shaming dumb broads. That's about, like, if you wanted to give me
So the Lord's work is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. But like the Lord's work that we didn't need done because it's already been done. Like, there's nothing this show, when I watch clips of that show, whatever, I never watch a clip of it and leave going, oh, I didn't see that twist coming. Like, the dumb whore, the dumb whore is always a dumb whore. The big fat pig always looks like a big fat pig. And they're just like, oh, yeah, but get it, guys? We exposed that she's a whore. You didn't expose that she's a whore. She's got an OnlyFans. You were pitching it before the show. What are you talking
Get it,
about?
guys? She's all looks and no substance. It's almost like the only thing she has going for her is the TNA. Yeah, that's why she's an OnlyFans model.
Yeah. Like, look at these guys who host this show. These two are not like alpha male, tough guy,
What do you talk about? Blue hair, white shirt. Fucks.
Well, I think he's one of like the belittler guys. I don't know if he's one of the hosts. But either way, like Tom Green and Freddie got fingered with a dye job here. And then guy who always borrows his dad's Mercedes on a date. I don't really see these two as like the shining beacon of masculinity that's going to save Western civilization. I don't like that these two smug cunts think that they're above any of these people that are on this panel.
Especially considering the guy opposite you, it looks like you guys are doing a bit like red versus blue or something.
Yeah, it looks like, what is this, a Road Rules fucking real world challenge? I don't get it.
So if those two get together and like have offspring, will it be a purple-haired chick?
Yeah,
is that what happens when you mix red and blue?
Does the dye get into the genes is what we need to know. But like these guys have a smugness whenever I've watched their shit that is unearned. Because anyone who needs to bring broads like this on a show, and again, line up like 9 microphones, which is way too many. Anyone who needs to bring broads like this on their show and go, watch me show how much more I know than these bitches. I'm like, oh, you're weak. You're kind of a pussy.
So sad.
Yeah.
And by the way, I love a podcast from like, oh, great, we're all part of the board meeting now. Do I get a vote?
Yeah.
And
let's not forget that, you know how they accuse like Elvis of stealing black people music to make his music? And he just like appropriated black culture. These guys are totally ripping off Fresh and Fit, who again, dumb show, dipshit, double-digit IQ retards who do it and have double-digit retard IQ guests. But they're like totally ripping off that format and just doing it for white people. And then white people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. Have you heard You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog? I'm like, yeah, that totally wasn't written by a black blues musician in Mississippi in the 30s. Just, that's totally that white guy that did that one. So
he's just really in tune with culture.
So I'm sorry. Like, I got to side with the New York Post on this one. Anyone who watches those episodes of whatever and goes, oh man, have you seen these guys? They're fucking based. Like, no, this isn't your guy. These aren't the guys that you need right now, quote unquote. Don't do this. Whatever would be so much better if there was a lamp swinging above the table like an old-timey interrogation. I don't see the benefit in bringing on dumb hoes and making them look like dumb hoes and then going, yeah, aren't I a bad motherfucker? It's like when Andy Kaufman used to take like women's faces and rub them into the mat and humiliate them and stand up. But he knew he was full of shit and doing a work when he did it. These guys are like, oh, we're intellectual giants. And it's not even that they're going after woke broads, because you could probably bring a woke woman who like knew their shit. Like a Rachel Maddow, as much as I don't like her, would carve these retards up.
They're not going to pick someone who can stand in the quote unquote, pardon this use of term, the ring with them,
right?
And throw. They're handpicked to fail. And I feel like the whole thing's kind of just them making amends for the whole, like they went to the strip club and no matter how much money they throw on the stage, she's still just not really that interested in them.
Yeah.
Like she'll do the VIP dance, but she's not asking for it. And so they're finally like, you know what? Let's just get these thoughts on here where we can have these hot ladies next to us and we can beat them psychologically to make up for all of the no's we have to deal with, publicly.
Do you think that these are guys who have been rejected by really hot women a lot and they've kind of got a vendetta and this is them kind of exercising that vendetta?
Yeah, this is, again, strictly my opinion. I'm basing this off of just, that's what it seems like these women owe you something, and yet you don't know any of them really. You haven't really associated with any. So I'm guessing that there's nothing personal, which means they're a straw man. They're a wicker man for you to burn.
Exactly. And professional or Two-Man Mike says, so Simcast. No, Simcast is what you want. That's just a bunch of pretty looking girls talking about pretty looking girl shit. That's like Simcast is the perfect stay in your lane kind of a program. This guy brings dumb women on his show and then goes, I'm going to show these women how dumb they are. It's like, yeah, bro, are you sure this isn't coming from some deeply insecure place in you? Because again, I'm not sitting here simping for these dumb retarded chicks, but like, we know it already before you prove to them, like, oh, I read Jordan Peterson's book, and I'm just going to read that to you and make you respond. It's like, yeah, because they're on the same intellectual level. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to rate you guys 10s. In one episode, the panelists, who were all women, rate themselves at 10s, much to one of the hosts' shock. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to rate you guys, but none of you are a 10, he says in response. Users cruelly joking about the women's weight and appearance. In another, Atlas grills the panelists on their body counts or how many people they've been intimate with and is met with resistance. See, again, like, this strikes me as a guy who got hurt by somebody who looks like these people.
This strikes me as a guy who brings up their body count because it's higher than his. And quite frankly, if we were to talk about the quality of the targets, I mean, I feel like people bring up body count really, really quick, but we have to ask ourselves, yeah, but is your body count like, you picked one off on the side of the road that was just sitting there? Or is like, it was a high stakes, no holds barred hit that I had to get out from behind enemy lines. Anything could have gone bad at any time, and I pulled it off masterfully. They never knew I was there. Like, that's a different, 1-to-1, but that body count accomplishment on that one is amazing. Yours is just, it was waiting.
It doesn't matter to me, but it matters to you guys, one woman said, gesturing to the men sitting across the table. So I'm not going to go and put myself out there and say my body count just for you two to ridicule me or something. Okay, see, now right there, as I read that looks like her owning them. So you can't even properly fuck up the women you brought there to make look stupid. Because they're like, oh, no, I see what you two are doing. I see the bullshit. Because, like, these are the same guys that if they didn't have a podcast, they would ask a woman one day for her body count while they were dating, and she would tell them, and they would cry.
Or they try this shit with a lady they're trying to hit on at the bar.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be one of those edgy bad boys that girls say, oh, I want a nice guy, but they date the bad boy. And it's like, yeah, but you want to be the nice guy? And you're trying to lure. So the bad boy thing is a fake out. And believe me, they've seen it before. Better have tried. So they're just going to fucking swat you with it right then and there like she did. Just like, oh, yeah, I know what this is. This is all about you and balls in your court.
Right. Exactly. And I don't know. Like, I just, like I said, and somebody said it in the chat, the first clip I saw of it, I was like, oh, this is funny. And then I didn't realize, I'm like, oh, shit, this is all they do? Like, they just bring women on and then humiliate the shit out of them. It's like, look, don't get me wrong. You want to hate on some women every once in a while, holla at your boy. But, like, you want to bring these entitled hoes onto your show? And just, like, who wants to spend that much time with entitled hoes, first of all? Maybe one special every quarter, but not every week another fucking episode.
I'm sure after the show is over, all of those ladies are so taken by their charisma and their intelligence. They're just like, I know this is really weird, but here's my number, and I just want DTF anytime. Like,
you're so right about them being the guys who have tried this. They started this podcast because they started doing this shit in a bar, and they started getting slapped in the face, or women called them gay and told them they were dumb, and they got really bitter about it. It was like, why don't I bring these stupid hoes on? They can promote their OnlyFans, and then I can get them with the body count questions. Wow.
These seem like the guys that buy into that fucking that self-help shit. My brother did for a while, where they send you like DVDs and stuff, and they tell you how to attract women or whatever. And they're pretty much just saying, just be a dick. But the thing they're forgetting about it is like, yeah, there's a certain level of charisma. There's also a level of physical attractiveness. You can't just be like some guy who's, doesn't really have it all together and just be like, oh, but I insulted you. Why don't you like me now? Like, That's not fair.
Rudolph has confession under duress. My audience is so much better at surmising the thing I just took 15 minutes to say. Nerds owning the thoughts on their turf podcast. That's all it is. Just getting back at the world. Shamu with a good one, too. The women need it, like telling Lizzo she's fat. Oh, yeah. The girls are getting something out of this, too. I want to reiterate. Everyone in this equation is shit. It's just that the people who watch these shows seem to give the guys a pass for being dumb bags of shit because, they're getting their hostility out on these dumb thoughts or, making them look dumb.